SoCalQOL. Happy Sunday. Nope, it's not Sunday. It's Monday. Let's try that again. SoCalQOL. It's Monday, and I've got a case of the Mondays. As sitting here to you on this podcast. Hey guys, so excited for pretty much the first Monday podcast ever on here. The first podcast we did was on a Friday, and it was number 0, and it was just the ability for me to just share what the future of not only the podcast was, but of SoCalQOL. And so we really haven't done a Monday because Tuesday was New Year's Day, and I didn't do one on New Year's Eve. So happy Monday, first Monday podcast. So with the theme of Monday, we are going to go with emotional slash motivational Monday. And I'm excited because I myself just went through a very emotional time. And if anything, I'm going to preach to myself right now because I need some motivation. I basically worked a lot on Saturday to the point where I didn't get to eat at my normal time. So I think, as we all know, when we don't eat at our normal time, we we get in that starvation mode. Our thoughts go different places. All we want to do is just, I don't care what I eat. I just want to eat. So in my situation, I actually had, it was like a love-hate relationship because I tried the Beyond Meat patty from Carl's Jr. for the first time because they just released it, and I was like, yeah, I'll pay an extra $2 to try it because I've had it before and I was really curious to try it. Joe Rogan recommends it, and it was delicious. It honestly was really good. So any vegans out there who want that kind of meaty taste and or texture with their food, I 100% recommend it. But what was unfortunate was because I upgraded, because my thoughts were in a different place and I hadn't eaten at my normal time, it was like 2 or 3 hours later, I didn't get it lettuce wrapped. So I was immediately craving carbs right after. It's crazy. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, or maybe it's just like a placebo effect. But when I commit to eating a carb, it's like it just snowballs from there, at least for the rest of the day. It's kind of like my day's shot. And I'm like, well, I've already started, so might as well keep going. And by the time I got home, my wife and I ordered some wings, but instead of just getting plain wings with sauce on the side, I was craving more carbs and sugar. So I got these habanero jalapeno drenched in this gooey, sugary sauce. And granted, I ate like a dozen of them, which didn't help either. So by the time I got up the next day, my body obviously was craving something that I didn't already have, which was, protein and fat. And it was the weirdest thing. Like, I actually woke up earlier than normal. So I got up at like 5:15. And then I kind of sat back and I went, you know what? My wife's going to work early, slash she's going to the gym. So I'm not even going to be able to like see her at my normal time, my normal like wifey time at like 8 or 9. So I was like, maybe I'll just lay back in bed till 6:30 whenever she gets up, and then I'll start work. Well, that ended up kind of delaying the rest of my day because when she left, I didn't really jump into the work. I kind of just procrastinated and was doing other things that didn't necessarily apply to the everyday hustle, the everyday hustle that I always want us to strive for. And then I just started getting these weird, like depressing thoughts like, oh, I'm wasting my day. And you know what? I might as well just not even do anything today. It was just weird. I was like, The whole week, I've been fine, I've been good. I didn't really go through detox, transitioning from eating like crap for the holidays to where I'm at right now, but or where I was, I should say. But yeah, so by noon, I'm like struggling. Like I had coffee earlier than usual too because I needed a pick me up, but I still didn't like feel that adrenaline of like, yeah, we're kicking ass. And so it kind of just trickled. But I think the greatest thing is to realize that, you know, oh, I know why I was so emotional or depressed or was struggling with my thoughts. It's because my body was craving something that it doesn't usually get. And, I think we can all relate when we eat carbs, we get lazy. When we eat carbs, we don't feel the way we do when we're eating, cleaner or, healthier, low carb, so on and so forth. And so just to bridge all that over to the emotional side, I think, our emotions are very, very highly connected to our physical side. I've said that with walking and stretching, and I truly do believe it. I don't see my emotions being driven by anything else other than my lifestyle and yeah, what I'm putting in my body. I don't blame it on the situation. If someone's going to be a dick to me, they're going to be a dick to me, and I shouldn't have to get mad at them because I ate carbs or I didn't eat right or I didn't, follow my normal schedule. Like that's not their fault. Granted, it's their fault for being a dick, but it's not their fault for like me getting mad that they're taking it out on me. A lot of times when people are going to be emotional, like they're going to be aggressive or hateful, it's all insecurities to them. It's actually on them that we have to think about. We have to think about how bad it must feel to be in their situation and, have empathy for that person, and in that moment basically by forgiving them or giving them grace, hopefully they'll turn themselves around. If they don't, oh well, but at least you kept yourself in check. So, like I said, my thoughts are completely 100% tied into the physical side. And so maybe there's a way that, there's a not a system, but there's a way that we can keep our different wellnesses in check. And basically when your physical wellness is kind of uh on low priority for the day, then we really need to amp up the emotional side somehow, give it something else that, or at least tell our significant others, hey, my physical wellness is not doing well right now or today, and I just want to let you know this doesn't make any excuses, but I could get a little aggravated quicker. I could snap at you, and that's not what I want to do. As you guys know, with the hashtag 365 experiment, one of my things is, with physical wellness, but also, you know, social wellness, and then ties into the emotional wellness. I don't plan on getting hangry. I call it hangry or snap at my wife. And because I used to do that all the time. When I was 60 pounds heavier, I would snap at my wife like every single day. I would blame it on being hangry, which was no excuse, but it was the only way that I could cope with what was happening in my situation. Flash forward to now, I know that's just a bunch of shit because that's not an excuse, and I know better, and I can't make those same mistakes again. And if I expect to do the same thing and expect a different result, then I'm insane. So, I even told my wife before the experiment started, I was like, honey, I don't want to be hangry and I don't want to snap at you for the whole year. So you got to hold me accountable to that. And she has multiple times already. We've had conversations where she's like, it sounds like you're being a little hangry. And I'll be like, okay, okay. Luckily, it didn't happen on Saturday slash today, but, or sorry, Sunday. But for the most part, I I really just have to, like I said, I have to keep those wellnesses in check. And it's like a domino effect. If one of them falls, another one's probably going to fall right after it. So, just to motivate you today, and hopefully, I mean, this is going to be a short little podcast, but just to motivate you guys today, don't, if you, or I should say this, if you feel yourself going in that direction emotionally, look at your other wellness, look at other parts of your diet or your finances, or maybe it's your spiritual wellness, or you know maybe it's your environment. Who knows? It could be occupational too. I feel like when we're in a work environment and it's negative, and maybe our leadership isn't doing what they should be doing, our boss is yelling at us, our standards are dropping, our coworkers suck, all that to be said, before you just get angry to get angry because you are frustrated, which we all have 100% authority to do that. And I'm never going to tell anyone that you're acting a certain way or you feel a certain way. You know the way you feel, and you know when you're going to a place that you don't want to be, or when you recognize you're a bad person when you do it. So, my challenge today and or this week is to really, you know, don't let yourself go full emotional, but at the same time, in that moment when you kind of center yourself, if you got to do a couple stretches and just breathe, there's the breathing app on the watch. But make sure that you just look at all other aspects of your wellness, because there's a good chance that something else went wrong in another part of your life. And it's not to point the finger, but it's more so to set yourself up to win next time. That way, if that other wellness falls, you can emotionally keep yourself in check. And if anything, that'll give you the motivation that you needed to get through the day, or to at least protect your relationships. Our social wellness is huge, and we need to make sure that we keep all those things in line. Otherwise, we're going to lose friends, we're going to lose relationships that we don't want to lose. We're going to burn bridges, and we might even lose, the ones we love. And no one wants to do that. No one deserves that. And I feel like things like this podcast, like SoCalQOL in general, that's one of the reasons why we want to make these things come up. We want to make you self-aware of who you are and where you are in your life, so you can tackle and destroy any problem, any situation that you end up getting into. So, like I said, this is going to be a short podcast. So, hopefully, you weren't expecting a crazy 2 hour long podcast, because we are getting up there. They are kind of creeping up pretty well. But I appreciate every single one of you. I hope that your week goes amazing. I believe in you. I'm proud of you. No matter who you are or where you're at, you can always do great things. So keep your head up, be strong, keep your wellness in check, and always, 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 always come back to SoCalQOL. Check out our posts, like, comment, reply, share. Basically, let's just spread the positivity. Let's get rid of negativity. Let's just be on the up and up, and make sure that we're a family, we're a community here. And yeah, that's it. We're done. SoCalQOL. Later.